For years and years and years, I used to tell people, it really strikes me strange that there are so many people that seem to me that they're like cardboard cutouts. And what I mean is like you meet people who you get to know them a little, you have conversations with them, you interact with them, and you discover that, they're not just surface, that's all they are. You think, well, if I get to know this person better, they'll talk to me about a deep subject. They'll exchange with me a deep conversation. They will tell me how they really feel. They'll tell me about their hopes. But then you get to know them better and better, and you find out that the only thing there is somebody who talks about football, soap operas, what they shopped for, where they went for their vacation, their new car, the new drapes in their house, and then they just go around that circle again, and around that circle again, and around that circle again, their entire lives. There is no depth to them. There is nobody inside. They are like simulacra of human beings. So I had noticed this for years. I mean, this was back when my children were little, because I had, as I said, I worked for the state welfare office, and I interacted with a lot of people, and I had to interact with a lot of people. And of course, I'd been a couple of years in university, and like everybody else, had met and interacted with at various levels, thousands and thousands of people. And there were these people who stood out as being like cardboard. You go into a store and you see a cutout of somebody trying to sell you something, and it's got a stick on the back of it that props it up. And it looks like it's life-size, and it's like a life-size man or woman. And then you look around behind it, there's a stick holding it up. There are human beings like that. But until the Cassiopeans started talking to me about organic portals, I had no theory to understand that. Even Gurdjieff said you can walk down the street. If you walk down the street and you understood how many people you pass are dead, and he meant their essence, their inner being. There was no inner being to them. He said, you would go mad with terror if you understood how many there are. Well, he didn't understand it in the terms of organic portals. So along come the Cassiopeans, and they give a name and a description of a type of being that I had noticed for all my life, and Gurdjieff noticed and wrote about, and other people, Castaneda even talked about. He said there are people who have only 3 or only 2 lights in their makeup. He was talking about seeing them paranormally. But then there are others who have more. They have 3. And those are the people who have soul potential, so to speak. Those weren't the exact words he used, but that's what he meant. The topic of organic portals has received a great deal of support from esoteric literature and even from scientific research. Some of the research that has come out recently is the fact that everybody on the planet has some Neanderthal genes, except for all the people in Africa. There has long been this contention between the different views, the out of Africa or the out of Asia model. Well, maybe it's neither, maybe it's both, but there is some evidence that there are significantly different types of human beings on the planet, genetically speaking. Which is which, I wouldn't venture to say at this point. But there is also the material from Moraviev, and then there is also a fairly plain statement in the New Testament by Jesus, that indicates that there are people who are children of another God, so to say. For the Cassiopeans to give it a precise definition that meshes more or less with the work of Moraviev, as well as the work of Castaneda, is quite interesting. So I would say that there is considerable lateral and vertical support for that idea. And also the research into psychopathy and personality disorders gives us a little bit more of a scientific basis to look at it. So, it's something that should be being worked on by real scientists, not just, speculated on by, by just me or groups of people who want to play spot the OP. I mean, that's not the objective. Let's do some research. Let's find out what's going on our planet. Time's running out.